Clerk will call the roll.
Glenn Whitley, County Judge.
Here.
Roy Charles Brooks, Commissioner Precinct 1.
Present.
Andy H. Wynn, Commissioner Precinct 2.
Here.
Gary Fickes, Commissioner Precinct 3.
Here.
J.D. Johnson, Commissioner Precinct 4.
Here.
Constitutes a quorum.
Thank you. Our invocation today will be delivered by Brent Peterson, representing the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Fort Worth. After the invocation, would you please remain standing for our pledges? Thank you very much for coming down today.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for the opportunity. Our Father in heaven, we come before Thee in this Commissioner's Court. We're thankful to be convened in such favorable circumstances. We thank Thee that we live in the United States and in Tarrant County and in Texas. We thank Thee for the freedoms to worship according to the dictates of our own conscience, and for the opportunity that we have to pray in forums like this in the public square, that we still have the opportunity to do that. We thank Thee for our first responders in the city and in this county, and pray Thy blessings of safety to be upon them. We thank Thee for the teachers who teach our children. We ask Thee to bless them and bless the children in our area. We ask Thee to bless our leaders in government, both nationally and locally, that they might have wisdom and discernment and govern in a way that would be pleasing unto Thee. We ask Thee to bless this Commissioner's Court as they deliberate over the items today, that they might have wisdom and judgment in the decisions that they make and in the use of our public trust and our public funds. We ask Thee to bless each one of them, and we're thankful for their service. We ask Thee to bless us as citizens of Tarrant County. Bless us in our families. Bless us in our efforts to be good neighbors. Bless us to have desires for peace, that we might continue to make this area the great place that it is to live. Father in heaven, we thank Thee for all of our blessings. We acknowledge that all that we have comes from Thee, and we pray Thy blessings on this meeting now, and we do it humbly in the name of Thy beloved Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to Thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Mr. Manius.
Thank you, Your Honor. Members of the Court, we have several announcements relating to the agenda this morning. First, if we could go to the Criminal District Attorney's section. Item 8F1. This was a request for interim funding. We're going to ask that that be removed. We have received that grant, and there's not a need for the interim funding. Also, when we get to item 9, which is approval of bonds and certificates of self-insurance, we have 2 bonds that we need to approve today. Also, member of the court, I'd like to make sure that you know that this afternoon at 2 o'clock, the IT Steering Committee is going to be meeting in the Family Law Center. And then finally, Ms. Wilson would like to make an announcement and a recognition.
Judge and Commissioners, this is really kind of in regard to our grant and the no refusal weekends, because those items, that grant that began and has had such an impact on Tarrant County, was started by Richard Alpert, who's one of our prosecutors and has been with our office since he started in January of 1987. When he got hired in 87, he became a misdemeanor prosecutor when I was the chief of misdemeanor. He and I both have a great old photo in our office because that Christmas, he played guitar and all the misdemeanor section went up and sang Christmas carols to Mr. Curry. It was weird. But then, It was my idea. It seemed like a good idea at the time. After his great service in the DA's office, he became the chief of the misdemeanor division in 1991 and served in that capacity throughout his career. He is a statewide expert in DWI law, and I'm here to let him talk to you because he's actually retiring after, 30-something years in the DA's office. He is, however, not going to the defense. He is going to be what he does such a good job at already, a statewide lecturer on DWI, due process. He'll still be a resource at the legislature. He'll still be, I think, a contributing author to the DWI manual that TDCAA puts out for the state of Texas, which he's authored since it began. It was really fun because when we hired a couple of new lawyers into misdemeanor court, they actually brought their books up for him to autograph because that's how well known he is in the state. So I asked him if he'd come up and say a few words to you all, because his last day of service with our office will be November the 11th, but we'll continue to see him a lot around the state as he fights a good fight. He has made a profound difference in the safety of the streets of Tarrant County. He literally has. We have been lucky to have him this entire time. Richard, would you come up?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Richard. Commissioners. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you and to thank you. I mean, Tarrant County has been my home for 30 years. Found my wife working at the DA's office. I've raised my children. I've gone to public schools in Tarrant County. And as Judge Wilson has so kindly stated, any of the success and opportunities I have are because of Tarrant County. I was very fortunate. I learned very quickly that the only access I needed to any opportunity to teach, train, or write was to say where I came from. And for that, I'm profoundly grateful. I do intend to stay committed to the issues that have been dear to me. DWI enforcement, training, teaching, which is my passion. I sincerely appreciate the support of the No Refusal Grant. It has made a tremendous impact. This last year's grant, 907 individuals were arrested during last year's No Refusal holidays. More importantly, the impact it's had on our county. It's fostered a level of cooperation between our different police agencies and magistrates. The word no refusal has become kind of a linchpin, and it's something people think about when they go out. And I think that's the reason why I could count on, I really couldn't even count on one hand the number of fatalities we've had over our major holidays that the no refusals in effect. And to be a part of that has been just one of the greatest, most gratifying things in my life. So I just wanted to have an opportunity to thank you, to say how proud I am, to say that I worked for Tarrant County, to make it very clear that when I announce my title as retired prosecutor, I will always add retired Tarrant County prosecutor. So thank
Richard,
you.
we thank you very, very much for everything you've done for our county. It is employees like Richard and many others that really do make this a great place to work and to raise a family. And we cannot tell you how much we appreciate the service that you've given over these years, and look forward to, I know, what will be continued work that will help the rest of the state understand what a gem we had in you when you were working here in Tarrant County.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks. Good luck, Richard.
It's a good one. Court members, you have before you the minutes of our regular meeting of October the 4th.
Move for approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Commissioner Wynn. Motion passes unanimously. We have several proclamations this week. The first is the Meals on Wheels, and I know, would y'all come on down? We've got some folks here, and I'll read the proclamation into the record. Whereas Meals on Wheels, Inc. of Tarrant County prepares and delivers meals to elderly and disabled persons who are unable to prepare meals for themselves, and whereas for the past 43 years, the citizens of Tarrant County have benefited from the delivery of over 15 million meals to our homebound neighbors. And whereas Meals on Wheels, Inc. of Tarrant County case managers drive more than 76,000 miles and make over 14,000 home visits annually to act as advocates for clients. And whereas case managers also deliver more than 2,500 supplies or equipment to clients to enable them to stay in their homes and make nearly 11,000 referrals for other services. And whereas case managers offer care, compassion, and warm smiles to nearly 5,000 homebound people each year, so that one day no senior will go to bed hungry or feel forgotten. Now therefore be it resolved that we, the Commissioners Court of Tarrant County, do hereby proclaim October 16th through 22nd, 2016 as Meals on Wheels Case Managers Week in Tarrant County. In witness whereof we have herein to set our hands and cause the seal of Tarrant County to be affixed this 18th day of October 2016. I'll move its approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. I'm going to bring the plaque down, but I also want to recognize those folks in the audience who I know for many years have also participated in Meals on Wheels by delivering meals. Would y'all please stand? Now come on, folks. Okay. Let's see, what am I saying here? Please make your comment.
I'm a case manager with Meals on Wheels, and on behalf of the 12 case managers that we have, I want to say thank you for this public recognition. We love what we do, but it is nice to be recognized, and so thank you so much. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you.
Thank to each of you for all of your support over all of these many years. We really do appreciate it. We couldn't do it without you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Carl.
The next proclamation is Eliza May Brewer Day, and that's for ratification only, so I'll move its approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Next, Commissioner Brooks.
This proclamation is perhaps a companion piece to the Meals on Wheels Case Managers Week. This is Food Day in Tarrant County. Your Honor, would you please read the proclamation into the record?
You bet. Whereas the health and well-being of our citizens is a primary concern for Tarrant County, and whereas expanding access to food and reducing hunger is a critical importance to aid those who live in food deserts, and whereas supporting sustainable family farms and local agricultural benefits of local economy, and whereas Food Day is a worldwide celebration of a movement toward more healthy, affordable, and sustainable food culminating in the Day of Action, and whereas the aim of Food Day is to bring individuals closer to real food that is produced with care for the environment, animals, and the women and men who grow, harvest, and serve it, and whereas Food Day addresses pressing food issues such as poor diets, food insecurity, hunger, and food safety, and whereas Food Day seeks to inspire the action of communities and the coming together of individuals and organizations to learn, debate, and mobilize to improve our food system and the American diet, and whereas we applaud the many efforts the Tarrant County Food Policy Council has made and continues to make in partnership with the Blue Zones to promote food access across Tarrant County, now therefore be it resolved that we, the Commissioners Court of Tarrant County, do hereby proclaim Monday, October the 24th, 2016, as Food Day throughout Tarrant County. In witness whereof we have herein to set our hands and cause the seal of Tarrant County to be affixed this 18th day of October 2016.
We still have a lot of work to do in this county to eliminate food deserts. One in particular comes to mind, and that is the city of Everman, where there is not a single grocery store in the entire city of Everman. We've got work to do. I move approval of this proclamation.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
And we have Sherry Simon, the treasurer of what? The Food Policy Council, right. To receive the proclamation. And also with Meals on Wheels.
I am. And then Ann is the president of the Tarrant County Food Policy Council.
Come on up here, Ann. You do so many things.
She does.
Sometimes you forget. Sherry, please have a word.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, Judge and Commissioners. Food Day inspires Americans to change their diets and our food policies. Every October 24th, thousands of events all around the country bring Americans together to celebrate and enjoy real food and to push for the improvement of food policies. Tarrant County Food Policy Council has been the organization that has taken the lead in organizing Food Day events over the past several years. The Tarrant County Food Policy Council was established by community leaders in social services, public health, and educational organizations who found that despite ongoing efforts, access to healthy, affordable foods was still limited for many residents of Tarrant County. The group was formed to improve collaboration and take a systems approach to addressing food issues in our community. Working together, we can make sure healthy, affordable, sustainable foods are accessible wherever people live, work, learn, and play. It is the Food Policy Council's mission to collaborate with representatives of all aspects of Tarrant County food system to catalyze creative solutions for ensuring equitable access to sufficient, nutritious, culturally appropriate foods, and to advocate for local food policies that support this goal. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sherry.
Commissioner Wynn, I believe you have a resolution.
This is a resolution to congratulate the Saigon Broadcasting Television Network and Radio Saigon Dial 1600 AM on their 10th year anniversary. On behalf of the Commissioners Court, I presented them the congratulatory resolution Saturday. This is for ratification only. I move for its ratification.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Next, you have before you the consent agenda.
Move for approval of the consent agenda.
Second. We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Mr. Manius.
Thank you, Your Honor. Members of the Court, we have two additional items for you to consider this morning. On item number one, we're requesting that the Commissioners Court approve the Texas Court 2017 Resource Sharing Addendum between Tarrant County and the Conference of Urban Counties Texas Program and its participants.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Members of the Court, on item number two, we're requesting that the Court give the staff the approval to proceed with RFP number 2017-022 for long-range planning and facilities analysis as it relates to the hospital district doing business as JPS Health Network.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Tidwell.
We have two items we're asking the court to consider this morning. The first is to receive and file the auditor's report for review of the county clerk's office civil section with the response from the clerk's office attached.
Move to receive and file.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
And our other item is we're requesting the Commissioners Court to authorize the removal of assets no longer on hand or belonging to the county from the county asset management system as identified and discussed in your court communique.
Move approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Ms. Glenn, Ms. Robin.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Robert.
I wanted to first announce that we have the health fair today at the Plaza Center from 11 to 1, and we'd encourage everybody to go. There'll be quite a few companies there and our benefits folks to meet with employees, and hamburgers to be sold. So our first item is, there are choices of hamburgers, veggie burgers, and chicken sandwiches, grilled chicken sandwiches. So they're
Chocolate
healthy
chip
choices.
cookies?
No, sir, we're trying to be healthy.
Raisin
There's
and
fruit, baked chips.
Good thing we have a Commissioners Court.
That's right. So our first item is to request you to receive and file the personnel agenda.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second to receive and file the personnel agenda. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Our next item is an approval of a waiver of terminal benefits for the Auditor's Office. This is for an accounts payable claims coordinator. The current individual is, the position is going to be vacant October 22nd. This individual is retiring with 192 hours. There's actually a net savings based on the individual that's being hired to replace it of a little over $4,600.
Move approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Our next item is also an approval of a waiver of terminal benefits for the district clerk's office. This is for the position of a lead file desk clerk effective November 1st. Again, there's a net savings, in this case, over $5,600.
Move approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
One more waiver of terminal benefits. This one is for the resource connection effective October the 26th for the office administrator. And this also will have a net savings of $200, a little over $200.
Move approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Our final item to be approved is both a waiver and a double fill for the medical examiner's office. This is effective for a position January 1st. Actually, the double fill will begin in November for a bookkeeper. They have some key activities that happen in November, and so they need to be able to cross-train the individual being selected for this position. There's a total cost of $8,986.
Move approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Mr. Beecham. Come on down.
That was over here, Jeff.
Sir?
Over here.
Good morning.
Morning.
Speaking of food and so forth, we certainly support the health fair. If you can't make it to the Plaza building, Human Resources, Budget, Risk, and Purchasing are having our United Way chili cook-off today. In the world of chili, remember less buns means more meat. We're serving bowls of chili for $5 a bowl. Free tool pie for $6, canned drinks for $5, excuse me, 50 cents, 50 cents, 50 cents, 0.50, 0.50. And we're also taking orders for our Christmas ornaments again. Our business items, we have 8 items for consideration this morning.
Glad we got around to that.
First item is a bid award recommendation for RFP 2016-101, RFP for Life Skills Program for Juvenile Services. Recommendation be toward the Santa Fe Youth Services, an amount of $78,432.
Move approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Our second item is also a bid award recommendation for RFP 2016-146, RFP for Service Organization Controls SSAE number 16 audit of the Tarrant County Tax Office. Recommendation be toward the Weaver and Tidwell, amount of $48,000 if approved, seeking contract approval from the court.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Number 3 item, again, a bid award recommendation for bid 2016-176, annual contract for SAP Consulting Services. Recommendation be toward a per enterprise basis, according to the primary, secondary, and alternate vendors as shown in court communique.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Item number 4, another bid award recommendation for bid 2016-202. This is our annual contract for copier and fax supplies. Recommendation be toward a per enterprise basis, according to the primary, secondary, and alternate vendors as shown in court communique.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Item number 5, again, another bid award recommendation for bid 2016-224. This is a bid for the Tarrant County Credit Union office alterations at the Plaza Building. Recommendation be toward the low bidder, Icon Diversified, amount of $111,400. Again, we're seeking contract approval, acceptance of the payment, and the performance bond.
Move approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Item number 6, again, a bid award recommendation for bid 2016-225, annual contract for dishwashing and laundry chemicals for SO and juvenile services. Recommendation be toward a per enterprise basis, awarding to the primary, secondary, and alternate vendors as shown in court communique.
Move for approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Item number 7, another bid award recommendation for bid 2017-002. This is annual contract for grease trap, sand trap services. Recommendation to be awarded per enterprise basis. Selected as our primary vendor, Earth Tech, our secondary vendor, South Waste.
Move approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Number 8, our last item, also a bid award recommendation for bid 2017-014, sale of recycled paper. Recommendation be toward the high bidder, Evergreen Fiber Sales, on a per enterprise basis, selling our cardboard to Evergreen Fiber Sales at $117.50 per ton.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jack.
This was missing in Mr. Smallman's office. So come see us on the 34th.
Your Honor, Ann's only here temporarily.
I can, if it wasn't so, it was so. Mr. Wright. Saw you over earlier. I was assuming you were still there.
Actually, that was me whistling the Arkansas fight song.
Which Jack didn't seem to recognize.
Jack didn't even mention the whooping that Mississippi got. Anyway, Commissioners, this is a continuation of our relationship with North Texas Tollways Authority. We've had a contract in place with them for about 3 years. What this one does, the only change is in recognition of the fact that we have some responsibilities and work to do when there's a flag on a Department of Motor Vehicle account. Before, we were paid only if the registration was blocked, and that customer then went and took care of the toll, and we got paid based on that. Now, they're going to pay us that $5.24 every time an account is flagged in the DMV system. One correction I'll make to you, the information you got in your packet is, which said 7,100 accounts. Yesterday, they submitted 13,000 more accounts to DMV. As you know, this applies only to habitual violators. You have to have 100 violations before they even send your name to the Department of Motor Vehicles. So this isn't somebody who accidentally gets on the tollway and doesn't pay the toll. This is people that use it habitually and then they don't pay the toll, and that's when their name goes on the list. They come in to get their registration. The flag is there, and we block their registration until they pay the toll.
Is that 13,000 Tarrant County residents?
That is correct. That's correct. And as more people use the Chisholm Trail Parkway, and you'll see once 360 opens up that you're going to have more people in Tarrant County using the tollways, and there's probably going to be more violations. But it only affects habitual violators, people that have skipped out on the tolls 100 times before their name goes on the list at the Department of Motor Vehicles. 100. Then I request your approval. It's on their agenda for tomorrow, by the way. If you approve it today, they will approve it tomorrow.
Move approval.
I second. A motion, a second. Any discussion? Further discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Commissioner Johnson, I believe you have an interlocal agreement.
Yeah, as the DA's office approved all these interlocals. I have an interlocal agreement with the City of Azle, City of Lake Worth, City of Fort Worth Independent School District, City of Blue Mound, City of Pelican Bay, Town of Lakeside, and Eagle Mountain Saginaw Independent School District. That would be items 8N, 1A through N. I move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Are there any appointments?
I have one. You should have at your desk there a resume from Vanessa Copeland, and I would like to nominate Vanessa as a new member of our CPS board to replace Leah Schaefer. And Vanessa, for those who may know her, is the daughter of Oscar and Carol Trevino.
A second.
Mayor Oscar and Carol Trevino.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Okay, we have two bonds. Ann, would you come forward at this time?
Hi, Ann. We
Hello,
we
Your
don't
Honor,
see you very often.
Commissioners. It's nice to see y'all. Well, the probate judge that you've appointed is moving along towards being sworn in, and she has now presented in proper legal form the two required bonds. So the first motion that we need from the court is a motion to set the Texas Government Bond 25.006 bond for Judge Brooke Allen in Probate Court 2 at $10,000, and to approve that bond, which is bond number LSM089976, which has been tendered to the Commissioners Court for approval.
So move.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
And the second motion that we need from this court is to approve the Texas Government Code Section 25.00231 $500,000 bond, which is bond number LSM 0899775 for probate judge Brooke Allen in probate court number 2.
Move approval.
Second.
A motion is second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. The last time we did this, Brooke was watching online, so if she's watching online now, congratulations to her.
If she's watching online now, she now has only to swear in, which I understand she will do next week. She's now ready to go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Board members, you have before you the claims, including the addendum.
Move approval of the claims, including the addendum.
Second.
A motion is second to approve the claims. Any discussion? Any addendum? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Briefing items, Mr. Manius?
Thank you, Your Honor. Members of the court, we have one item to bring to you today. That's item A, which is a monthly update on the hospital district. Mr. Early is here to address the court at this time.
Morning, morning.
Morning.
Thank you. Good morning. I have good news from JPS, a variety of things, but I think it's probably time, and if you listen to the prayer, that we do start focusing on some of the positive. It's a good prayer today, and it's a great organization and a great community by which we can begin our meetings with a prayer and kind of put you in your right place. There's a variety of people just down the street that are struggling with life decisions and struggling as to what diagnosis they're going to hear at noon today. And there's a lot of people that take care of them. And I think it's probably time for all of us to just take a step back and realize there's a whole lot of good. We just focus on the bad. I mean, you can look and say Arkansas lost 2 games and you can focus on that, or say they won 5. Or you could focus on the fact that a purchasing officer has challenges knowing the difference between $5 and 50 cents. Or you can focus on the fact that we have an incredible purchasing officer, an incredible purchasing department at the county. And so if you want to look at the minutia, you can find enough bad in anything, including the tightness of your shoes. Or you could start looking at good. And there's a lot that's good. I'll bring you stuff to this court that may not be going well at JPS, but today I'm going to bring you things that are going well at JPS, and I'm appreciative of them. I'm appreciative of Mr. Manius and the group that y'all hired in HMA. They have done a wonderful job of surveying the community, surveying you all, surveying people at JPS, surveying our colleagues in the healthcare industry to figure out how to make JPS better at all times. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. It is not lost by me that you all as a court are trying to figure out how to make JPS a better place. And we ought to strive for that every day. No matter how good it is, we always be striving for its betterment. Mr. Manius came before the board on Thursday and gave them an update, and the communication that we have from Mr. Manius and HMA, your consulting group, has been fabulous. And I'm appreciative of that because I think it will make us better. JPS in the last month became a certified stroke center. Stroke is the 5th most deadly disease that we can have, or issues that you can face. It's a stroke. You may not be thinking about a stroke until you or a loved one has one. And we are blessed in Tarrant County to have 3 certified stroke centers at HCA Plaza, at THR Harris, and JPS. There are only 17 certified stroke centers in all of Texas, and Tarrant County has 3 of them. So the fact that we are certified, which means we have different requirements and different obligations that we meet. We have equipment, personnel, and physicians, including an incredible neurosurgeon and others, that can take care of you and save your life in the case of a stroke so that you're not a statistic. And that's powerful that JPS became that. We're one of the few public hospitals in the nation that are a certified stroke center. So we're very proud of JPS and the people that did that. That is a cooperative effort by fact of our nurses, our doctors, and our staff at JPS, and the board that allowed for the money to create a certified stroke center. And that's exactly in the mission of JPS. And we're reviewing our mission and what we do and how we do it. But when you have the 5th largest killer of people, you don't want JPS turning your back on an issue like that. You want JPS to be first to address it along with others. So I'm really proud of JPS becoming a certified stroke center. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Commissioner. And the other thing that I'm proud of is in the old days of JPS, 8 years ago, we didn't do employee surveys because we were afraid employees would tell us what they thought. If they told us what they thought, we might have to listen. So what we did is we've been conducting employee surveys at JPS to allow people to tell us what they think about JPS and how to make it better. We don't make it mandatory, but we had 91% of our employees return their surveys. We don't give away microwaves or trips or anything else. We just say, here's a survey, tell us what you think.
91?
Sir?
91%.
91%. We are one of the highest in the nation. And the reason I'm proud of that is you all know from raising families that when your children or your spouse or your neighbors or whoever talk to you, you have a hope of resolution. If you do not talk, you have lost hope of any resolution. So the fact that even if employees tell us they think it's horrible, the fact that 91% are willing to communicate with us means they care about where they work. Then the response of 91% of them, there are a variety of categories that Press Ganey, a national survey company, reviews, and they are the largest. They review 6 to 7 major points, and JPS scored in the 85th percentile for not only participation, but retention and employees wishing to continue to work at JPS. That's pretty phenomenal. So I don't mean to just be all great and wonderful because we have our challenges. We have our challenges every day. We're we're trying to find answers to health issues. But I will tell you that it's a good month at JPS, and we've had some good situations, and I'm really proud of the employees for telling us they care enough to work at JPS to respond to surveys. And tell
These
us how we
surveys
do.
are anonymous, right?
They are.
And they're done online?
They do.
Is there a digital print
There is.
attached to the employee? They're completely safe.
They are. Yeah.
To freely speak their mind, basically.
Yes, sir. Nobody's put on a hill at Sunshine and shot. No, we don't do any of that, and we don't know anybody. It's just our comments and names. And then what we are able to do is we're able to look at 3 categories of departments. Our Tier 1, which is our strongest departments. These are the ones that have the highest retention. They have the highest participation of their employees in a variety of activities. They have the highest response on surveys and comments. That's our Tier 1. Our Tier 2 is sort of a good group of folks that are engaged in JPS and engaged in working there. And then we have our Tier 3. Those are our challenges. And we have reduced our Tier 3 from the mid-50s all the way down to 9%. And we've increased our Tier 1, which is our highest performing departments, all the way to 67%. So we've seen the change in the last 3 or 4 years. So it's not just rhetoric by a CEO, it's empirical data that you've got a better JPS than what we started at a couple years ago. And I appreciate you as county commissioners, you as judge, and the community for your patience you've given JPS and the effort. And sure, we can hear something tough and difficult about JPS tomorrow, but when you see 1.8 million people, all of which don't want to be there, you might hear some negatives. But I'll tell you, it's just like what I mentioned earlier. You can focus on the bad or you can focus on the movement of the good, and I think we're going in the right direction. So I want to thank you all. That's my purpose in telling you that you all have been huge supporters of JPS, and it doesn't go unnoticed by 6,500 people. So
Keep up the good work.
I'll do my best. Thank you,
And I would
Commissioner.
point out that one of your former patients went back to work today, Officer Pierce.
Yes, yes.
So
We're very proud
it
of
was
him.
exciting, and it was great to see him back. And I know he attributes, and I know that's something that y'all are very proud of, is his healthy recovery, and it's still ongoing, but he's back at work.
Yeah, one of the greatest things when we had our last police officer and we were having a ceremony where the press showed up, we were escorting the police officer out of our hospital. We were proud of that moment. If you won't be able to see it on television unless you look closely, but right behind that we have an individual in a wheelchair who is having a heart attack in our parking garage, and he's being wheeled in the opposite direction of where the police officer is going out. That epitomizes JPS. We're proud of Matt Pierce. We love Matt Pierce. We think he's a hero. But we get heroes every day, and they just don't make television. We get to save a life every day, and that's what gets you going in the morning and makes you want to get back to JPS. So we're proud of Matt, and we're proud of all the other people that we don't know their names of or the community doesn't see on television that we get the opportunity to do that for. We're having a function on November 1st. It's from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. All of you have been invited, and I appreciate y'all coming to that function if you can, because it's going to highlight some of the things JPS has been doing. And Matt's one of our featured stars to talk about JPS and what it did to his life. So thank you, Judge. I appreciate that. And thank you all very, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you, Robert.
Mr. Manius.
Your Honor, that's all we have.
Then we'll recess from our open meeting to close to discuss items exempt under section 551, 071, 072, 074, 076, 087 of the Texas Government Code. David Phillips, could I holler at you for a second?
Are we gonna try to call Gibb afterwards, or after I meet with them?
Having returned from our closed session and Fickus almost being here, and Commissioner Brooks,
We're here.
we're now adjourned.
Okay, we're gonna wait for you, JD.
Okay.
And then we'll call